Now the first company I'll talk about is Knax. It's a company that is creating affordable protein supply for the growing population. And just a little bit about the background story for Knax. I was at the gym and I realized, one of the good protein sources that you have are usually whey protein. Now whey protein, unfortunately, relies on dairy production. It is generally a byproduct and it's kind of hard to upscale. So I started looking at, is there any alternatives around there? There are a few, chickpeas, etc. But is there any real good alternative to protein supplies? And yes, there is. You probably heard it before, cricket protein powder. And I was starting to do a bit of research on that, and I realized what we actually see here is a company based in Australia, that they are providing cricket protein powder. But the price on cricket protein is insanely high, and the quantity, as you can see, is not very high as well, which is not very good for when you are doing, workouts, etc. I realized that they actually get their supplies from Canadian cricket farms. It's like, why is that? Why would they grow stuff in Canada and not here in Australia? Another problem that we face in Australia is that we estimate to hit roughly 30 million people here on this continent by 2029, and that's expected to reach almost 50 million by 2066. What it looks like is basically we're going to have a demand for protein no matter what, so it doesn't look like the price is going to decrease anytime soon. So I started to realize, to think about, is there any sort of solution to this problem? Are we able to actually get the price dramatically down for these sort of cricket production? Well, we do need to have optimal cricket growth, we need to have heat, moisture, we need to have good nutritional pasture. And where is that? You can really find a good place like that. So why don't we just use the resources that we currently have here and use it to our advantage? So the solution I sort of had an idea of was to establish a Gigafactory in Western Australia. Now the benefits of my Gigafactory is that it provides low marginal cost for production. I think that we can actually get it down to very few dollars per kilo of this. It has minimum labor usage as well. It provides natural heat. This area is extremely hot, and this is what crickets love. So you don't have to use electricity bills from that. It has low-cost land. This is a very nice area that you can place one of those Gigafactories right next to Perth, and I will tell you why in a second. The business model on this is to supply cricket powder to third-party companies, which is not what we are selling directly to the consumer. We are basically providing the powder for companies like Grillo. We will provide a 1 kilo bag, or 1.5 or 2 kilos, with flavors such as vanilla, strawberry, cookies and cream, and lemon for the beginning. I do have a prototype in the back that you can see later on. So another thing is that we want to expand rapidly. And there's a free trade agreement coming up with the European Union. It's actually almost a 1-year anniversary for the negotiations. And what that will enable us to do is to get from the domestic market of 25 million people up to the EU market of 500 million people. And as you can see here, it has a really good location for being right next to Perth with this international harbour. You could theoretically mass produce it here, ship it onto container ships, heading straight to the EU upon regulatory approvals, and then you can target Germany, Spain, France, and the UK. Now the competitive landscape here is not what you would expect. As I mentioned before, here we have some Australian companies that are already kind of doing this thing, but it's not nearly in the scale that I'm talking about, nor is it actually a sort of production facility. So they would actually love to have some of those that I'm talking about here. Now, however, in the US, we do see a company that have done something like this, and they actually won the whole prize in 2013, Aspire Food Group. They actually took this concept out with crickets, mass production, and they did it autonomously. This is the future of protein production. These guys have already started doing it. They are very popular at the moment, but I think we need something here in Australia as well. So the vision is really to see if we can get the price in whey protein much, well, it's just be higher, but the price in cricket protein should be much lower than the whey protein. And then we start to see a shift in demand for whey protein versus cricket protein. So the ask here is, if you have any contacts in the banking sector, anyone you think that, hey, what he's saying here could actually be a very good business model, then please contact me on this email up here. I'll be truly appreciated. Thank you.